Hello and welcome back to Chengi's World. I am Chengi and you, my precious one, are my world. Thank you so much for joining me this amazing Monday. It is Man Talk Monday, girls. Yes, yes, yes. For those of you who are new to my channel, welcome. And for those of you who are coming back, thank you so much for always being here for me, for yourself, most importantly. So thank you so much and keep watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and comment. Okie dokie. So today's video is going to be about when you lower your standards to accommodate him. Okie dokie. So here's how it goes. Let us. When we meet a guy for the first time, we are excited. He's showing up for us in a way that is incredible. And we are in this really happy place and space. We feel really fortunate and lucky to have found him. And then, of course, being human beings that they are, men always have their true standard and the standard that they present depending on the woman that they think you are. So if you are a high status, high value girl and you present as such, then a man is going to want to rise to the challenge, is going to want to be that guy for you. And so you have this avatar of a man. What you meet is his avatar. This is the person that he presents into the world to make the impression on the people that he needs to make an impression of. But his real self, I'm not sure if you've seen the movie Avatar. If you haven't, go watch it. It's a good watch. But basically he goes out into the world and he creates this reality where he can basically be anything he wants to be in that world and in that reality. But in the real world, he's disabled, or I think he's disabled. It's been a while since I've seen it. That is such a good picture of how it is with men that we date, is that and we are that way too. We send out our avatar into the world, into a world where people meet our avatar, and then after a while we'll let them meet who we truly are. And when this happens and we're on the receiving end of the avatar, we feel that we feel kind of hard done by, duped, tricked is some of the words that I've heard some of you ladies use to me and some of my clients use to me. I feel tricked. And in a way you have been, but for me, I'd like to look at it as what you have been shown is what that person is capable of, when they're not aware of their weakness, when they're not enabled to be weak, when they are in that other world, they're showing you these are the heights at which I'm capable of achieving, but I am incapable of maintaining, right? So when you meet a man's avatar, what he's saying to you is, I can be a gentleman, I can open doors, I can plan dates, I can think ahead, I can do all of these things. The problem is I don't have what it takes to maintain that status quo, either because financially I don't have what it takes, or emotionally I don't have what it takes, or I don't even know that there needs to be something that's done after that initial honeymoon dating season where I bring out my best self. And so as women, our response sometimes when that avatar meeting was so profound is we begin to want to accommodate the real person. We then decide that we will then adjust ourselves. So you used to buy me flowers, but now I lower my standards to I don't need flowers anymore. After all, we're not in a relationship. That's not necessarily my truth. That is just what I feel I have to tell myself in order to keep whatever remnant of the man still exists. Because if I insist on my standard, I might lose him because he cannot maintain it. And so many of us as women, and I'm not even talking about things like flowers because they give or take, not every woman loves flowers. I'm talking about the way he used to speak to you, the way he used to treat you. Do not ever, 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 ever give him room to believe that he can ever speak to you at a lesser place than the way that he spoke to you. If he spoke to you kindly and respectfully and had time for you, then that is the standard that you must hold him to. But what we do as women is we begin to lower our standard to accommodate him. We begin to lower our expectations of what we want in a relationship in order to accommodate what he wants in the relationship, which is not what he sold us from his initial avatar. When we met, he was talking about commitment. He was talking about love. He was talking about marriage. Now that time has passed and he feels he's got what he wants, he can settle into his lower nature. And we begin to say, well, I guess marriage is not that important after all. I mean, it's not that big a deal. And, we start to talk ourselves into accepting that lower standard. And then what happens and through time, especially when you are married, and when I have to deal with married women on the other side, is they allow the standards to slip so badly that they got to ground zero, and now they're in this marriage and there's no easy or viable way out without destroying and wrecking their lives, their children's lives. They now feel stuck. But that started off from not holding a man to the standard that he shows you he is capable of. And when we grow muscle, we have to push weight. And sometimes it hurts like hell because we're just like, because we're trying to lift a weight that ordinarily we wouldn't be able to lift. But what happens here is that, when we learn to keep holding that weight, as difficult as it is, after a while it becomes easier. And what was difficult to hold up becomes easy one day, and now you need to add more weight. In the same way, when you are in a relationship and you are teaching your man how to treat you, it's gonna be hard for him. He's gonna push back. He's not gonna want to step up. He's gonna want you to accept less of him. He's gonna want you to accept what he naturally offers every woman, despite your status, despite your value. He's gonna want you to conform to what is comfortable to him. And the more you keep giving up your power and your desire for the things, the lesser and lower and lower and lower he will get. The lower he will get. The women that are in these relationships with men that sit around all day doing nothing and not helping them, you can bet that when they met, their men were more helpful. But what happens is when we take a piece, when somebody opens the door a little bit, it gives us room to take more territory. And it's human nature that if I can get away with this, can I get away with that too? Oh, I can. Oh, can I get away with that too? Oh, I can. Okay, there might be a bit of resistance here, but I can. So we can easily get ourselves into a bit of a muddle, I believe. And get ourselves into a bit of a situation because you've allowed things to go down. So my advice to you is do not lower your expectations to accommodate your man, but rather demand that he raises his performance to meet your expectations, because you are prepared to do exactly the same thing. You are prepared to raise your performance to meet his expectation of what he would expect from a woman, as long as it's legal, moral, and ethical. This is what relationships are about. You are making him a better man. He is making you a better woman. So never ever compromise your standards. Never ever compromise what you need in order to feel loved and to feel that you're in a healthy and happy relationship with a man. Never lower your standards to accept his performance. So thank you so much for watching. For those of you who don't know, I would love for you to go and buy my book, because I go more into the foundations of why we allow these things to happen in the book. And so go grab my book from Amazon. It's called Position for I Do. Get yourself a copy, get your head and heart into it, and transform your life from the very core of your being. And then everything you do and say from the right place, from the right mind, from the right disposition, doesn't matter what you say, doesn't matter what you do, it's going to be the right thing because it's coming from the right place. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you've got any comments, make sure you leave them in the description box. I'll see you in my next video. Take care of you. Bye now.